So Andrew Hong just dropped a new video where he recorded a bunch of really gnarly and funky sax licks and samples, and you know I love my sax stuff. And he uploaded these as a free sample pack and asked other creators to use the samples and see what kind of things they can make with it. So I decided to download it and see what I could do. Now the sax licks are all really gnarly and funky, and I was really wanted to make like a really gritty type funky tune. But once I got them in my sample editors and started messing around, I came up with something totally different. So let me show you what I came up with. So Andrew Hong dropped these saxophone samples with a contrabass or a bass saxophone and a contrabass clarinet. And I'll play a few of the samples here. You just hear this like really gritty type one-shot things. Some of them are processed. Well, those are pretty cool. And what I came up with, I took 4 samples, and I'll show you the 4 samples that I took. Let me just get them out here. So I used this one, oops, one, and this one, and here. Okay, so I used those 4 samples, and through a bunch of different processing that I'll get into, this is what I was able to come up with. I'll play the whole track at the end if anyone's interested in checking it out. I'll post the time code there of when the whole track is going to get played. But let me show you a little bit how I processed these samples and was able to come up with this kind of ambient track with the using just those saxophone samples. So we'll start with this low drone. I believe the sample I used for this was this one. It's kind of got a little bit of processing already, and so I got that in the sample editor, and then so you can hear it kind of looping, and I just started, it's like a low, I think I was even lower to start. It's just almost noise here, and then as it went on, brought in different octaves. So you can hear how that's kind of, and it's looping them all at different times. So I brought those in as it was going on, and that kind of provides this low drone bass. Actually, where I got the idea to start this whole thing was the first sample I took, which was just a one-shot, just a simple low C on the bass saxophone, and then when I put it into the sample editor, let's go up to that one actually. So you hear that's about the original, and you can see where I pulled the frequency down and changed a few things there. But as you go up, you hear the timbre really change. And I really found that up here it has this really chill bass sound. I think I kicked up the arpeggiator and kind of just played around a nice little, and brought in some lower. lower notes as the piece was going on, and then I just recorded that down in the MIDI, and that's how I came up with that. I'll solo that out for you here. You can hear it now. Alright, that's that, and with a bit of reverb and delay, it kind of gives it a really nice little sound. Next is the kick. For the kick I used this one-shot sample, which was just I think just a key on the saxophone, just being closed with the microphone up close to it. And I brought that into Battery. I brought a few other samples that I didn't end up using, but I brought it into Battery and then put it into the machine, and just play that along. Has some processing, a bit of EQ to kind of bring up the low and cut out the mid, and then of course the delay and the reverb. And then you hear that as the piece comes on. I'll just play a little bit. And with the reverb, it kind of gives it that driving, just enough for this minimal piece. I tried it with some of the other samples, but I just didn't end up liking it much. And then last, we have the lead line. First, so the lead sample was, it was actually this. Which of course it didn't end up sounding anything like this, because then you can hear the lead coming in here. And what I used to get this sound was an instrument called Form. It's a Native Instruments instrument where you drop in a sample into the interface here, and then what it does is it kind of, you can choose any part of the sample, and I just chose this one little transient spot here, and it just kind of brushes back and forth, plays it forward and plays it back, but like you can see the speed changes a little bit as it's getting to the edges, and also the pitch changes a little bit here. So we can play a little bit of that in here. And I think this is somewhere around the original here. So you can hear in the original, and you can hear as it kind of goes back and forth over these different transient points, it makes a little bit of a glitchy sound. But as you go up higher, it starts to give this really interesting, smooth, almost string sound, and then you get up really high. I started knowing that I put the portamento or the glide up really high. You can see the glide here. And just really have this really interesting kind of lead sound to it. And every time it hits one of those edges, it kind of makes a cool little flourish. Kind of made a really cool little sound. A lot of processing there. Okay, and so all this, sorry, I'm a little slow with Nuendo. This is new to me, as I said, but I'm using the RC24 reverb, and also the RC48 reverb for the bigger reverb sounds. See the RC48 here, and for the delays I'm just using some of the standard ping pong stereo delay, and for the mod delay, which I'm not even sure if I'm using, maybe just on the kick, I'm using the Native Instruments Replica XT, some of my favorite delay and reverb effects. And last, I use this instrument called Molecular. Now, Molecular is this really interesting processing plug-in from Native Instruments and things. So I pretty much just ran everything or most of the things into this. I kind of think of it as a really fancy reverb pedal processing something, and so this is what it sounds like. You kind of hear those extra flourishes it's putting in. Just kind of gives it a little bit extra movement, and like I said, it has a lot of these different modules and a lot of presets that I need to take the time to actually dig into, but I haven't quite yet. But I've had some good luck with it. It makes some cool sounds, and it's definitely super fun to play with. Okay, so that's that. And then I always process everything down with isotope ozone to kind of give that extra mastering at the end. But thanks for watching. I'll play the track out at the end here. Please, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. I'll do more like thought out videos in the future here, but maybe more videos like this too. I don't know. Thanks so much. Please check out Andrew Huang's channel. I'll leave a link in the description, and download the sample pack for yourself and see what you can create. And so anyways, here we go. Here's the final track. Thanks for watching.